Hey everyone, so today's going to be a little bit of a different video, but we're on our way to a father-son camp trip. We got the CRV all loaded up. Had to sell the truck because the frame rotted out, so this is kind of interesting having to load this thing up. We are going to be taking the ICECO APL35 electric cooler with us. We got the 13-foot bell tent that we're going to be setting up using that and a wood stove, but I don't think we're going to get to use the wood stove because this year's only supposed to go down into the 50s at night. Normally it goes down into the 30s. I was kind of excited to try it out during this trip. However, probably going to be too warm for that, but I'm going to bring you guys along. We're going to see how long we can run this ICECO for on this ICECO 300 watt hour battery bank. Right now we're at 96%, and what's cool about this, these things are amazing when you're running any electric cooler, because you can plug the cooler into that, and when you start your vehicle up, it'll actually recharge that power bank, and then the cooler will run off that power bank. So when you shut your key to your car off, say you're getting gas or whatever, the cooler will stay running off that battery bank, and then when you start the car back up, it'll recharge that. But we're gonna solely use this and that initially, see how long we can get out of it. I have the ICECO solar panel, maybe we'll use that. I don't know exactly where this video is gonna go or what we're gonna show in it, but follow along if you watched all my review videos on this, on the bell tent, and just wanna see more information about them. Oh, and it just rained for like 2 days straight, so I'm sure the campground might be a muddy mess. Hopefully, it's actually starting to rain again right now. Hopefully that dies down so we don't have to set the tent up in the rain, but we'll do what we gotta do. But we're excited to get there, so I'll see you guys then. All right guys, so we're almost there. It didn't take long at all for the ICECO little battery pack here to charge up to 100%. We're sitting at 100% right now on it. And once we get there, we're gonna get this tent set up. But once I stop the car, oh, there's a couple cool little deer here on the road. Like, I ain't even running, they're just like right there. That's cool. That's what I'm always afraid of hitting when I'm on an e-bike. But anyway, once we get there to set the tent up, when I shut the car off, I'll start the timer to see how long we can run on this battery pack, because once I shut the car off, it'll be running off of there, and then depending on if the sun comes out or not, or maybe I'll still set it up. I brought the solar panel. I'll set that solar panel up, and not sure we're gonna get a bunch of sun today because it's very cloudy, just rained all morning. Luckily we got a nice open spot here in the rain so that we can get set up without the rain. But if the sun comes out, or maybe tomorrow, maybe we'll get enough sunlight to keep that thing going and see if we can last the full 3 days on just that solar panel and that little battery. So it's gonna be a pretty good test, pretty cool to try out. And the first time I came here, this road closed sign really threw me off. I almost didn't come down the road and had to find a new way, but I think it's closed just for this father-son camp. So I just go around there, but we're literally almost there. I can't wait. All right guys, pulling in now. It looks a little muddy in some of these spots, so hopefully our site's not so muddy. We'll see what happens here. We were usually in between these trees. At least twice now we've been in between them trees, but it looks like we're gonna be here in the open this year. So that looks good. Where is it at? So when we got here, this guy in the back was actually in our spot. So we are taking his spot, which actually worked out a little bit better because it was a little bit of a bigger area. Once we started setting up the tent, we had to spin it around, then we unloaded the rest of the car, moved it out of the way, and we put the door facing away from this pine tree because we were afraid if we did use the hot tent, it might have caught that tree on fire. And it actually worked out better like this anyway because we had enough room for our canopy to go over top the door here. And then we started loading everything else up in the tent, spread out our outdoor mat, which is a must for camping to keep everything nice and clean, especially on rainy days. Then we aired up the air mattress and started getting everything ready. All right, we got the bed aired up. Now this is a queen size mattress inside this 13-foot Vevor bell tent. This sheet's a little tight, maybe it's the wrong way. And if you're interested in this bell tent or anything I'm using here, the ICECO cooler, solar panel, battery bank, anything like that, I'll put links down below in the description. But this tent is awesome. It can rain all at once now. We'll stay completely dry. There's no doubt in my mind. Oh good, it does fit. But we got the EcoFlow here. Used it to blow up the air mattress. Show you guys a little bit of our campsite here once we get everything else set up. But so far so good. When we checked in, there was actually somebody in our spot, so we had to take their spot, which is actually a little bit nicer. So no complaints here, but got an awesome setup here. Wait till you guys see this. Hey, good morning everyone. I didn't get a chance to film too much yesterday because we had to go to dinner. Finished setting everything up, had a nice fire, s'mores, all kind of good stuff. But just wanted to give you a quick update on the tent. Temperature got down to last night on the cooler, how it's been running so far on that battery bank. Yesterday, so I shut the car off at
2:27 p.m. So that's when we started running on the battery. We have the cooler set at 33 degrees. At about 4:09 p.m. I plugged the cooler into solar and the battery bank was down to 93%. Right after that, it bumped up within like, I don't know, probably 45 minutes or so. It was reading fully charged, not even, maybe like a half hour or so. And it was super cloudy. The sun was not even out. I didn't think we were going to get any charge at all. But it said it charged it up to 100%. I find that hard to believe, but I mean, it worked great, even with it being a cloudy day. We just left the solar panel on after I hooked it up at 4:09 p.m. We had to go to dinner and did a bunch of stuff. And when we came back, it was dark. I unhooked the solar panel. And then when we went to bed at 11 p.m., the battery was at 90%. It is now 7:20 in the morning and the battery is down to 69%. It dropped to about 61 degrees last night in here. Stayed really nice and warm. It's not really windy out at all and perfectly nice and warm in this tent. The ICECO battery is down to 69%, so we used about 20% in 8 hours, which isn't bad at all. Actually, 8 hours and 20 minutes. We used 21%, so not bad. So I'm going to get up and hook that solar panel back in and see if we could charge that back up to 100%. So you can see, got the queen size bed here with our sleeping bags. We didn't even have to zip them together because it didn't get that cold last night. Got my Temu camp table. I actually had the fan on last night for a little bit because it got warm in here. Got the EcoFlow charging my cell phone just in case I need it. And that's just all of our camp gear, clothes, bags, and everything that we had stuff in, some extra tarps. A little bit of a mess in here, but as you can see, the cooler's down to 33 degrees on both sides and 69% on the ICECO battery. So running excellent on there so far. Shut it off at like 2 something p.m. yesterday, still at 69%. But loving the tent. Had the screen in most of yesterday, had all the windows open. It was staying nice and warm in here. Now this tent is going to be probably super hot in here if you tried to use it for summer camping. You can undo the bottom on this and roll the bottoms up and attach them here with these clips if you needed to, but then you don't have a screen. So yes, you could use it for summer camping that way, but then you don't have a screen. You're gonna have bugs coming in here, could have some rodents coming in, so just keep that in mind. Probably not a good summer tent unless you had a portable air conditioner or something. So what do you think, bud? You stay warm?
Yeah, really warm last night.
That's good. All right, guys, so it's been 8.5 hours since I plugged the solar panel in. The solar panel is now in the shade, not getting any more sun. Let's go see what the battery bank is at. And we're at 76% currently on this, so we gained 8% charge, and the cooler has been running for the last 8 hours. So in 8 hours, we gained 8% and the cooler stayed running. So far, pretty good. If I can keep gaining a little bit of juice every day when the sun comes out and run this for most of the hottest part of the day, I should definitely have enough juice to make it to Sunday afternoon when we're leaving. So far so good. And the tent's a little bit messy, guys, but so far working out great. So the total amount of time that this cooler has been running on that battery has been 26.5 hours. And I'll show you guys real quick what's inside here. I don't have it stocked completely, but I got both sides running on refrigerator mode. You could set either side to refrigerator mode or freezer mode if you want. Will take a little bit more energy, but just got the basics in here. You know, got to have the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, some orange juice for breakfast, half and half for coffee. Then we got the eggs and some meats over here. Didn't stock it up super heavy because it's only a 3-day camping trip, but working out great. And like I said, we got the EcoFlow as a backup, but I've only been using that to charge my cell phone and to air this air mattress up. So we are still at 98% on there. That's backup. Probably a little bit overkill for this trip, and I'm hoping I don't even need to use it for that cooler, just to show you guys a pretty good test. But it's been a super fun day today so far. We went fishing this morning. We both caught some largemouth bass, which I think we caught the same fish twice because they were both the same size. Here's a picture of mine. Pretty nice catch. Then we came back. He did some target shooting and then some sporting clays. We're gonna go do some knife throwing and just having some good father-son bonding time. Building those memories that are gonna last a lifetime. Highly recommended. All right, guys, so today is Saturday morning. It's, I don't know what, around maybe 10 o'clock a.m. The cooler was around 40-some% this morning when I plugged it into solar at 8 a.m. This panel's still in the shade. But our activity for today on our father-son camp trip is to go into the woods and build a fort. Well, they gave us these little handsaws to use and some rope, but nobody knows. Kind of cheating a little bit. We brought the ICECO, little battery powered chainsaw that runs off my DeWalt batteries. And I brought it with us. Not knowing we were going to be doing this today, but that's going to make it a lot easier. Wait till you guys see this little saw. Whew, man, I'm out of breath. Walking up that steep hill from all the way down there. Beautiful area though here, guys. And it's amazing what Butler family does here for all the families to help families get together. Father-daughter camp, father-son camp is just amazing what they do. All right, guys, we're dying. Well, I'm dying. I'm already sore and tired from playing soccer yesterday. Not used to this, but I think we found our spot. Beautiful area up here on the hill. Let's build a fort. Oh yeah, definitely a lot easier than this. The ICECO. We got our fort started there. Got the first log up, going pretty well. All right, guys, we're making progress. What do you think, bud?
It's coming together really nice.
Yeah, so far so good. Awesome father-son bonding time. Priceless memories right here. All right, everyone, so we got our hut completed. I think it was a success. It turned out pretty cool, but we are headed back to camp and we're gonna see what the capacity of the battery is running the cooler. In 2 more hours, it will be 48 hours. I don't think we're gonna get much charge today. It's very, very cloudy. Like I said, when I plugged it in, I believe it was at somewhere around 44%. I don't expect it to be much more than that. It actually might be less than that because like I said, sun's not out. But 2 more hours, it'll be 48 hours, so that's pretty good considering all the shade that the panel was in. And if you used a bigger panel, you could definitely, if I would have brought one of my 400 watt panels or 200 watt panels, probably still would have ran it, you know, charged that thing up, no problem. But I wanted to test out that 80 watt ICECO panel on days like today, just to see what you guys can expect. So we'll see what it's setting at when we get back to camp. Thanks for sticking around. All right, just getting back to camp. Let's see what the cooler's at. And it's still in the shade. Whew. All right, 4 hours later and we're only at 42%. So I only lost 2% of charge in 4 hours, even though that panel's been in shade most of the time. Pretty good. All right, everyone, so it is 52.5 hours later. It is Saturday evening, about 8 p.m. and the sun it hasn't really been out all day today. It's been cloudy. It's actually just starting to clear up with the clouds, but the sun's already over the hill. Been cloudy all day, didn't really gain much solar power here. Started the test this morning at around 8 a.m. at 44%. It is now, actually it's 7 p.m. Yeah, 7 p.m. But total overall, 52.5 hours from the time I started running on this battery. Let's see where we're at. And we're at 29% still. So been running great, even though the last 2 days have been very, very dreary, not getting much sun. Still able to run the cooler, both sides set to 33 degrees the whole time. But I'm gonna go do some more activities. We're gonna see how long this lasts into tonight when I go to bed. And then we might have to switch over to the EcoFlow to keep it running throughout the night. Well, almost fell over there. Or we can continue to run on this and just see if it dies in the night, because everything in the cooler will probably still stay cold, even if that dies in the middle of the night. So I might do that and we'll see how it goes. But here's my setup here. You can see all the other campers down here. Got the pop-up canopy up right up over the Vevor. Now I would have to do something with this if it rains, but for the most part, I thought maybe draping another tarp or something from in here up over that way or something. Only thing with this is if you have this over here and you're using a hot tent stove, you'd have to worry about the hot coals hitting the roof here, putting a hole in it. I did bring it, but it wasn't cold enough to use it. It only got down to about 58 degrees at night. But if I were to use that, I would move this back so I don't put a hole in this. But the Vevor tent has been working excellent. Been opening up the windows throughout the day to screen in the front, keeping it cool. But it hasn't been super hot either. I think the highest was 70-some degrees during the day. And we're kind of shaded the way the sun comes up. Those trees are kind of in the way. Got my Temu table there, my Temu solar lights here, and I don't go anywhere camping without the smokeless fire pit. I love that thing. But I'm probably gonna wrap the panel up for tonight because it's probably not doing much and the sun's about to go down any minute. So I just hope it don't rain in the morning when we pack up. All right, everyone, so today is the final day of our father-son camp trip. We're just loading up, cleaning up now, but the cooler made it until 7 a.m. this morning It had 3%. I went to the restroom, came back, and it was dead. So we had to go ahead and switch over to the EcoFlow at about 7 a.m. However, if I would have waited like another hour or so, the sun is actually out today, so I could have plugged the solar panel in and would have charged up. So essentially I could still be running on that battery bank. So essentially this cooler has been running off this 250 watt hour power bank for 64.5 hours using that 80 watt ICECO solar panel in combination with this set at 33 degrees. Now it went down to about 58 degrees last night, so it's not super hot. But overall, guys, I'm very impressed. If that sun would have been out the last 2 days, I would have never had to switch over to the EcoFlow this morning. But very impressed with this. And one thing about these 12-volt electric coolers, portable refrigerators that I love, is that you don't have to have a super large cooler, and you could get way more stuff in it than if you were using a traditional iced cooler, because the ice takes up a lot of room in here, so you can get way more food and drinks in a 12-volt cooler, and it actually makes it a little bit lighter, easier to carry also. But this ICECO APL35 is very lightweight and efficient, and that's what I love about it. I'm sure this cover helps too, this insulated cover. That's an additional purchase. But if you guys are interested in any of the stuff I talked about in this video, I'll leave links down below. I do want to mention that a while ago last year they did send most of this stuff for me to test, but I only test stuff that I actually am going to use in the future. So this was just a camp trip that me and my son planned. Figured, hey, why not make a video? I'm going to be using this stuff anyway. But if you want to see everything about this cooler, the specs, features, details, all that, make sure you check out the full review on that. The full review on the Vevor 13-foot canvas bell tent. I did 2 videos on that, a setup and a cold weather test with a wood stove versus a diesel heater. Check out those. EcoFlow, all that stuff I reviewed. So go check out the videos if you're interested. I thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it. If you've enjoyed this video, please stick around and subscribe. And I will see all of you around on the next one. Thanks for watching.